Good afternoon, everybody. I've got a piece of cherry here. It's roughly 4 by 4.5. Granted, it should be a 4 by 4 square, and I've got it at about a 1.5 inch thick. It should be 2, but we can try this and see what happens. What I'm trying to do for the first time, because I have a craft show coming up, is make a cocktail smoker, like a whiskey smoker. I've got some wood chips on the way off of Amazon, and from what I understand, people like to take some like cherry or other different like apple wood and smoke their whiskey or whatever drinks that they have. And sometimes people even have smoked Dr. Pepper, from what I understand. I don't know. Never done it, never tried it, but we'll see how it sells at the craft show. The actual specs that I got from Turnage Dubois, or Double D. He's actually Turnage Dubois on YouTube. I'm actually following him, so if you're looking at mine, you can go and follow him off of my channel. But he uses a 4 by 4 and roughly 2 inch thick. I'm about a 1/2 inch shy for the thickness of it, but we're going to give this a shot and see what happens. Still new, so it's a first time for everything. I've already marked centers on both sides, so we can put it up on the, actually I want to use this side for the headstock and this side for the tailstock, because I want to get rid of some of the sapwood. Get it nice and cinched down on there so we can flatten it out and level it off, and then we'll see what happens from here. First thing that I seen him do was round it off, so we're going to do that, and then we'll put a tenon on it, a small one. Be right back. We now have a freshly sharpened gouge. I'm using a 1/2 inch spindle gouge, and with asymmetric grind that we get off of Richard Raffin and Thomas Tusla. I can never pronounce his name correctly, but here we go. We're going to give it a shot. Round it off. And yeah, we are still really wet in the sapwood, so I'll probably end up having to put this on hold, throw it in my little homemade kiln for a bit, or microwave it, and then pick back up and re-round it, because this might have some warpage in it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll bring you back. Smaller piece. Okay, we've got a small enough tenon on it, and we are now still, well, we're down to about 1.25 inches thick for this piece, and roughly 3.25 inches round. This is the smaller one, not the larger one that's drying. This one seems to be a lot drier than the other, so I'll bring you back in the next steps. Alright, I've got the smaller one back in there, flipped around on the chuck, and I'm going to flatten off the top and make the little tower thing that goes on it, and then we'll drill it out. Alright, now what I've got to do is I've got to make sure that the bits that we're going to be using is You start out with a 5/8 inch. It's the larger one. You drill it down, not all the way through. You're only going to want to put it probably just enough to put the mesh screen, which I'll show you that here in a second. It's a pipe filter, little small pipe filter. You want this to sit probably about like that on the inside of this little tower, or whatever you want to call it, funnel. And then that's with the 5/8, because the 5/8 for this is just right for that lip right there. Then you do the 1/2 inch and you drill it the rest of the way through, which fits the screen all the way through the entire piece without going too far and messing up the chuck or anything like that. I have an adapter on this because this is 1x8 TPI, and the new Laguna lathe is a 1 1/4 by 8, so I had to get an adapter for my chucks until I get new chucks. So it doesn't have a hole in the middle of the adapter, so I can only really go back to about this far on my chuck before I start running into that adapter. So it's just a problem that I have. So we just can't go over. We have to make sure that we can fit the 5/8 in there. So I can go a little bit further down. Let's see what we can do. Or smaller round, I should say. That's about as far as I want to go. Let's measure it and see what we have. And I can always make adjustments on the next one. We're sitting at about, just being cautious because this is my first one, around about 1 inch wide, or inch diameter, or 25 mil. Now we don't have to do, we can go further down with the cone, so that's what I'm going to do, because I think it's just sitting too high. Put a little indentation right there in the center, so when the bit goes, it'll have a center point to hit. So let's see what we're sitting at. About 3/8 to 1/2 inch depth on this, and we'll give it a shot. Like I said, this is the first time I've made it. Get my drill chuck set up. I'm going to start with the 5/8 to get the overall outside ready. The outer diameter. Okay, I want to go oh, we'll be back. In all actuality, all I really need to do is make it small enough, make it deep enough just to get the filter to fit in. to where the lip's not too far up above, but not too deep in there. So all I really got to drill it down is hardly any, maybe about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch type deal. Let's give it a shot. I might go deeper with it, don't know. We'll switch out and go with the smaller one now and drill it the rest of the way through. Nope, not through yet. I believe that one through. Vibrations changed. Not quite yet. Oh, it was through. It just didn't crack the rest of the way. I just felt the vibration change. Alright. Well, it does fit in there pretty well. I'll put it back on and sand it here in a second. But really, that's what you're doing. You're setting that in there. Now we're going to dress up the rim here a little bit, make it look pretty, and like I said, sand it down, and then I'll bring you back. It looks like my wood chips are actually on the way today, so let's get the screen out real quick, and then I'll put it back on and sand it. Okay, let's dress this up a little bit. I'm feeling frisky. Since I don't have a fancy dancy laser engraver yet, let's try to make some designage on it. See where that break is. Rough edges there. Okay, we'll fix it. You know what? Let's see how bad I can mess it up with a skew. I dressed it up better on these ends. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding it before I mess it up. This piece of wood still is a little wet compared to the other one being soaking wet, so get some sandpaper, bring it back. Cherry looks really good with beeswax. It gives it a really good shine from what I've seen. I may be completely making it up, but from what I've seen, cherry does pretty good with beeswax. Nice, beautiful shine and finish. Oh, look at that chatoyance with it. That light makes it reflect. Now that I have an adjustable speed. Yeah, it's slow enough you can see it. Alright. Now it's got some touch-ups to do on it on the bottom side. It's going to be some hand sanding. But all in all, I think it turned out pretty nice. Put your little filter in there. Oh, focus is terrible. Alright. So you put your little filter in here, and it's removable. You just got to poke something through the bottom of it to get it out. And they can put a fresh filter in there if this screen ever gets bad. But all it is a mesh screen. I'll try to remember to put the link on Amazon like Double D did. He's not the only one that I've seen make these. He's just the most recent one, and I decided to get a wild hair up my butt and try it. But I'm going to off camera finish up the rest of this stuff here to where it's one nice little piece. And I will leave this tenon lip in here just so it doesn't, the thing won't slide off the top of the glass. And once my stuff gets here, I will try to do an example, because I've got Dr. Pepper inside, and we'll try that. So yeah, we still have one more to make. This is the smaller one. It's about 3 inches in diameter, because the other one's still drying. Well, you're not going to see it, but it's about 3 inches in diameter. These darn spam callers, I'm telling you. Okay, watched a couple videos. Moment of truth here. I do have Dr. Pepper, but it's 0. Throw a little ice in there since this ain't cold. Some people throw ice in their whiskey too, so. And yes, I'm using a mason jar. That's what I have available out here. Set that on top. I got these from, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but there's 8. I think I got it for like 20 bucks. But Dr. Pepper's already got a cherry taste to it. Let's throw some oak wood in there and see what we can do. See what it tastes like. Throw a couple chips in. Smells like wood. Couldn't find a torch lighter, so we're just going to have to go with the mag torch. The smoke's going down in it right now. I'm pretty sure with a regular torch, that top part here, yeah, that top part right there got scorched with the big one, but it's not doing anything. You got the smoke down inside of it now. Everything else seems good. And it smells like smoke, oak smoke. It doesn't smell bad. Well, it does change the flavor a little bit. I'm pretty sure if I would let it sit longer, it would probably do more. And that's actually not bad. Okay. Obviously, I won't be selling this one because this is my tester. It's a smaller one anyway. But that's really not bad. And the little pieces of oak wood's already cool. So, and again, if I had a regular torch, it'd probably be better. But I did use beeswax too, so let's try a different one. Oh, there's hickory. Let's try hickory. I think I'm getting the hang of this. I guess now I need to get a torch lighter. Now you can really smell the hickory. That's really cool. Let's leave this one here for a few minutes. Check out these other ones, make sure they're not burning. But that looks really cool. I guess I'll have to watch some more videos on how they do the whiskey ones. If they leave it on there, shake it up, stir it, or whatever. And it smells wonderful with the hickory. Oh, it does give it a different taste with the hickory. And it's not that bad either. That's Dr. Pepper Zero. Alright, y'all. I appreciate you watching. hey, first time for everything, and I think this one turned out well, and I've still got the other larger one, and I'll probably make a couple more for this weekend. All right, y'all have a good one.